Jochen Hahn and Antonio Albacete. The two of them go flying through the right-hand side, then the left-hand side. Jochen Hahn around the outside, and Lucas Hahn, no father and son, come together on the exit of turn 1.
And the best thing about this is the fact that it's still a 15-minute sprint race. They've not extended the time of the race. It's still just like, it's going to be, 7 laps of Spa-Francorchamps?
We get to the real nitty-gritty of motorsport. Cranston and Smith are side by side for the title in the very final race of the season. So they go back up the hill towards the Schumacher. Nils Kor clips the back at 10. Simon Povey clips the side of Nils Kor. They go over the hill and Povey's around. Oh my god, that's going to definitely be the thumbnail, and it hit me in the right direction. Thank you so much.
23 cars.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Hello everybody, welcome to Chaz Draycott Media and welcome to round number 4 of the CDM Clio Cup. We're here at the legendary Circuito de Jerez, Angel Nieto, and it's going to be a great night of racing, I can tell you that much. This circuit, of course, synonymous with Formula 1 through the late 90s, and of course MotoGP still to this day has an absolute blast round here every time they come round. And I think it's a very underrated circuit for a number of other formulas as well. I've seen some great GT racing on iRacing around here. And hopefully tonight we will see some great tin top racing as well with these Clios. We being myself, Chaz Draycott, and the wonderful Dara Thacker. Dara, welcome back, mate. Feels like forever, actually, since the last broadcast. But this should be better in the Spanish sunshine, I suppose.
Yeah, only been 7 days, but we've moved south to a beautiful part of the world. And you're right, a track that I think is more known for its bike racing generally, isn't it, than its car racing. But hopefully we're going to show tonight once again that these cars can race anywhere and on anything. And I think, you know, this is a circuit where we could see quite a lot of racing action because it is quite open in parts. And we know that these Clios can go side by side everywhere.
They absolutely can. Here's the championship standings at the moment. Ian Stitchbury has a very tasty lead at the top of the standings, and that's with drop scores included as well. However, after Donington Park, he does have a qualifying ban to serve, which he would serve if he was here. He's not even here tonight, unfortunately, for him, so it's going to be close between the other drivers. Dan McCauley has hopped up into second in the championship, but look at how close it is. There's only 10 points separating him and Lee Berridge in 6th position, who's had a really good run of form of late. Matt Hoyland took his first win of the season back at Donington Park, which was entertaining to watch, but it's so close all the way down the order, Dara. There's only a few points here and there separating anybody.
Yeah, and these are the kind of championships that we love to talk about, because you've got, 10 points from 2nd to 6th right now, and then a bit of a gap down to Martin Shirley in 8th, but from him back to 12th, there's only 12 points again. So you get gaggles of drivers. They kind of know who they're racing and what they're racing for, and it leads to some really exciting championship battles.
Absolutely. We've got cars on track now for the practice session, which will be over in just a moment. In fact, it's just going to finish now, actually. So what I'm going to do is go straight back to the scenic camera. The cars will be teleported off the circuit, and the sim will magically fast forward, and it will change from what is 10 a.m. to just half an hour later. You'll see it on the right-hand side of your shot, and it will go from 10 o'clock to 10:30, which is when qualifying will take place. Now, like I said, there's a few drivers serving a qualifying ban here tonight, so they will not go out in the session. Sam Van Alst is one of them, Danny Weir also, and Ashley Beard still has to serve one as well. I'm hoping he remembers that, because he missed the driver's briefing. So hopefully he doesn't head out on circuit, otherwise he'll be getting more of a kick in. Here's potentially the prettiest car in the field, Sean Breitenbach's Barbecue Bread Racing number 72 Clio. I mean, we both love this thing. We've both watched him racing some pretty gorgeous liveries over multiple seasons, haven't we, Dara?
Yeah, but I almost don't want him to change it, because this is gorgeous, isn't it? It kind of focuses onto the point at the front, even at the back as well. It's obvious what country he's representing. It's the best livery in the style of a flag that I think I've seen. Yeah. It is absolutely fantastic, and I'm wishing him all the best purely because of that, quite frankly.
Yeah, it's always nice when you see a good-looking car do well, because the theme used to be that, especially in Formula 1 in the late sort of 90s, was that the pretty cars were always at the back of the grid. You know, I remember the Minardis from 1997. One of the prettiest F1 cars I've ever seen. Lovely livery. It was an absolute shed of a car, and it just never did anything quite that spectacular. So I'm hoping that we have some of the pretty cars near the front. The Spectra racing cars are very pretty. We've got Jordan Butler and his teammate Harry Seven. We've got Lee Berridge just up the road as well. He's got a really good looking car, the boosted motorsport machine. He shares a similar livery to his teammate John Roberts, of course, just with different coloured highlights on the rear quarters. You'll be happy to know that Dan McCauley still does have a livery on his car, actually. He's just popped out of the pit lane now, and he's got this blue and white Series 1 racing machine. Not sure if Drew is going to watch along tonight to shout at his screen again, but we shall soon see. Jan Rosberg's name seems to have changed in the sim, which I'm finding strange. Rather than it being the O with the accent over it, it's actually changed to O-E-S-T Berg, and I'm not quite sure why, because I haven't changed that in the overlay, but I wonder if it's a little update at his end. We've also got Jack Johns on track, let's not forget. We've got the gorgeous Gold Suds racing machine. I love these cars, they really are spicy, and of course Sam Van Alst, who unfortunately has to sit out this qualifying session, showed us just how spicy they were back at Donington Park, didn't he? Taking that race win in race number 3.
Yep, and we had such a varied evening at Donington, didn't we? 3 different winners, 3 different, real feels to each of the races. Never really felt like we were on the same circuit in any of the 3 20-minute events that we had, which I kind of think is a bit of a blessing. Sometimes when you have 3 short races, yeah, they're fast and frantic, but generally you see the same guys make their way towards the front again. But we really had a mix last week, and I'm hoping we see more of the same again tonight at Jerez, because it keeps the championship open. It gives more drivers that feeling that they can, push higher up in the order throughout the season.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how a driver's season can fluctuate in cars like this, isn't it? I really do find it very interesting. I think that because it's tin top racing, it's so much more unpredictable, and especially with the format as well. Of course, the top 15 on the grid in race 2 are basically reversed in their position. So if you finish 15th in race 1, you'll be on pole position for race 2 of the night, and then race 3 is actually the result from race 2. So should be interesting. Of course, we send our best to Dylan Da Costa, who was clear favourite at the start of the championship after winning all 3 races in pre-season testing, then all 3 races at Misano at the start of the season. He then injured his back and is now out for the season, which is a massive, massive shame. We hope to see him back on our screens again soon. But it certainly opens things up in the championship. Ryan Stitchbury not here tonight. Dan McCauley is the highest placed driver in the championship to go out there. But obviously Sam Van Alst has a qualifying ban as well. And we don't have Matt Hoyland on track just yet. He's popped into the YouTube stream. He says he's just a little tied up at the minute, and he'll be out there soon. John Breitenbach goes fastest then in the barbecue bread racing machine. Fretwell goes second. Jack Johns now goes up to second, ahead of Osberg and Gregory. Ben Gregory back after serving his 1 race ban at Donington Park. He was gutted to miss Donington because it was his home race, but these things happen. It's we can't choose which round of the championship you serve that ban at, I guess. John Roberts goes 6th. Jordan Butler now goes 6th. Should be quite close in terms of the times here tonight.
It should, because even though it's a 2-minute lap the drivers are facing, it is only a lap that's consisting of 15 corners. It really isn't the longest in terms of, I guess, difference in times here. You get to somewhere like Singapore or a street circuit that you'll far more often see in Formula 1 now, that has upwards of 30 corners. A lot of times where you can gain or lose that little bit of time. But there's so many medium length straights here around Jerez that it's kind of focus where you can gain or lose that time into a couple of fine points on the circuit, including here at the final corner, which is where Harry 7 is now. But yeah, I'm interested because John Breitenbach's got that advantage. He's got a second over, almost anybody else. There's only 2 other drivers within a second at the moment.
Yeah, it's looking good, isn't it, for Jean right now? 9 minutes of the qualifying session left to go. You're absolutely right, though. There are some very, very important corners on this track that they really demand a lot of focus. I mean, the first corner up at what is now known as Expo 92, which is one of the strangest corner names I've ever heard in my life. That is a really important part to get really late on the brakes and get turned in nicely. The final corner is Lorenzo, which is that hairpin. It doesn't look like much of a hairpin from on board, but it is almost 180 degrees. It looks more like it's just a sort of extended 90-degree left-hander. But it's quite the opposite, really. It's a fully fledged hairpin. Angel Nieto and Peluqui are 2 really important corners. The squared off section at the end before they get to the Alex Creville chicane. Now that is another important point of this lap, isn't it? People will be trying to outbrake themselves into that chicane tonight, and I think that, well, we're going to see a few cents into there, and maybe here where Dan McCauley is right now at the hairpin at the end of the back straight, which I think could be called the Jacques Villeneuve hairpin.
Yeah, I mean, the straight's long enough that it's going to tempt the drives into it. I think that's the point. It doesn't necessarily feel like it would be the best place to make the move, but you've had enough of a straight to think about it that I think drivers will end up going for it a bit more. And it is a clearer overtaking spot than we saw at the final chicane down at Donington. It didn't stop them last week, did it? So I doubt it will this week as well. I'm interested as they come around here. You can see, actually, with McCauley coming through turn 10 up towards this Alex Creville chicane. It does get quite narrow in here. Of course, this isn't necessarily the... this isn't the motorbike layout of the circuit. They usually use almost the outside right-hander. But a good exit out of there and a good run through here. Look at how wide the circuit is. You could fit nearly 3 cars through here. And then as you come into the final corner, I always feel like it feels a bit more like Sepang final corner, doesn't it?
Oh, yes, it does.
Yeah, right, it just kind of keeps going, but you can accelerate on the exit. And it's tempting, isn't it, to set it up the inside?
Oh, it absolutely is, yeah. Especially with the large building on the inside of the corner as well.
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
That's such a great shout, Dara, honestly. If there was a circuit that I would really want to come to iRacing, that would be a little bit obscure, that maybe not everybody will be asking for, God, it would be Sepang. What a fantastic racetrack that is. So many great Malaysian Grand Prix in the past. This is going to be an interesting point. I'm glad that we saw Jack Johns do this. Pit lane entry is worth practicing here tonight. We've commentated on Boremula 1 and the likes of the Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge and seen lots of issues for drivers through there. Matt Hoyland in particular hates that one because he got a drive-through penalty. He came into the pit lane and his pit guy was the first box at the end of the pit lane. So he came in, got it wrong, and then missed his box. So, yeah, he won't be really enjoying heading into that final part tonight. But, in fact, no, what am I saying? When do they pit? Getting too excited. Sorry.
Shorten the races too much.
Yeah.
So, random question. Who came up with the format for this again?
Oh, Francois.
Oh, he's not even here. It's easy to blame him, isn't it? Good.
Well, he's French.
Oh, exactly.
There you go.
He's probably watching the football game, isn't he? Is that where he is?
What's football? No, it was me actually. It was all me. I normally don't take credit for things like that, but you know what? If I've mucked up, yeah, it was me. Interesting at the moment to see. We've got Jean Brayton back fastest. He's going really well here this evening. I'm pretty sure. You know what? I'm going to call him out on this. He posted at 3 minutes to 7 in the Discord because a number of drivers have said that they're not going to be around here tonight. We're not seeing Ryan Stitchbury, Martin Shirley, James Pallett isn't free either. James Holman, because his rig isn't fully built yet. His PC has died, which is what was the issue. It wasn't a disconnect in terms of connection. It was his PC dying. And even Dan McCauley got the pelters in saying, geez, at this rate, James Underhill might score some points, to which James, replied with a very sarcastic gif. But James is also not here tonight, unfortunately, so all three Jameses aren't around. But I'll come back to my main point. At 3 minutes to 7, which is when the session launches, John Breitenbach said the words, "I will be around, but likely very slow." It's currently 3/10 clear at the top in qualifying.
Oh. Yeah, no, he's full of it, isn't he? Goodness me,
He is, yeah.
That's awful. Oh God, I mean, there's sandbagging and then there's just outright lying, isn't there? So I mean, I had a lot of respect for Jean with that livery, but now that I know that he's
one of them.
Dark arts, into the dark arts of misdirection.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah, he's going on so well at the moment.
Oh, you say that, he's sideways.
Well, that's true. Let's hope he doesn't, block the number 52 of Alex Vettel. Indeed, he won't. Get out of the way. Let's see if he can get onto a 159. He's not far away. He's closer to a 59 than anybody is to him.
Yeah.
Really. Actually, no, he's as far away technically, isn't he? But we'll see if he can get there. Good to see Johns as well in the top two, and McCauley trying to continue that kind of charge that he started last week. And with Ryan not there or not here tonight, he's got a good chance to score some points and make sure that his drop round's almost topped up if needed later in the season. Well,
let's not forget as well, you get 25 points for a race victory in this championship, and Dan is 26 points behind Ryan Stitchbury. So as long as he scores some decent points tonight, he should be okay. I'm just looking at Ryan's drop score, though, because we do have drop scores in this championship. Ryan's worst so far is actually 38 points. It sounds like a massive amount, but to be fair, if you have just 3 consistent races, it's not that insane. I mean, he's had 60 points from the first round of the championship, then 57 from round 2, and then 38 from round 3 at Donington Park, and that's with him finishing as well quite far down in 12th place in race number 3. So, yeah, Ryan will gain 38 points tonight. So Dan needs to score, 26 more than that? Which is, 74? No. Yeah. No, it's not. 64. Yeah. 64, no. Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah. I think so. But yeah, if Dan scores 64 points tonight, then he will take the championship lead. Simple as that. He just needs to then finish, he needs to win a race actually, and finish second in the other two, so it's not all that easy with the drop scores considered, but that again is a case for putting drop scores in championships. It shows you just how they work and how they keep things nice and fair, just in case people can't make a round.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where, obviously sim racing differs to real world racing in that, people, we realise people have lives, and this is just a pastime anyway. We're not all getting paid to be here. Well, the drivers aren't getting paid to be here.
I was going to say steady on.
Yeah, it's the only reason why I turn up sometimes.
In fact, you're technically the only one that is being paid to be here.
The awful thing is, I said that and then realised that exact thing in the moment.
I know I'm not paying you a lot, Dara, but Jesus.
Well, no, I know. I'm not. I'm not about to go out and get a steak from a high-end restaurant, but I might
mean,
be
it
able
could
to,
be an
I
end
might-
of season
I
bonus.
Might be able to afford a Coke. Yeah.
I'm glad you said a
I'll be honest
Coke.
with you. I'll be honest with you. At this point, I'm using this as fuel. So I just psychologically I'm having to, pay to go to work. Anyway, enough about me. I forgot what I was going to say. Yes. Yeah. So the drivers are all, they've got their own lives. Things are going to come up, especially, on a Tuesday evening at some point over the summer. Might be away. Might have family to attend to. So I think it's nice that obviously we have that extra drop round and just gives the buffer for the drivers that they feel like they can miss around without having too much of a hit to their championship ambitions. Because if you're going to go on holiday, you don't want to then feel annoyed about going on holiday because you might ruin your chances of winning a championship here. You've got to feel like you've got a little bit of give. So I think it's nice to include that.
If you'd like to commentate on the CDM Clio Cup for 2026 on Chaz Draycott Media, please write to Where Has Dara Gone at 12 High Rash Road.
PO box.
Yeah, PO. I'd love a PO box just so I can tell people I've got one. It's amazing. Oh, look at that! Right at the end of quali, Dan McCauley just popped back up into third place there ahead of Jan Osberg. Literally got that across the line as we got in. Sure, it didn't look like a busy session because we didn't have a lot of drivers out there, but we do have 16 of them here tonight. Let's have a look at the grid then. We have John Brayton back on pole position, his first pole of the year, with Jack Johns alongside him on the front row. Then it's Dan McCauley with chance to get the championship lead tonight alongside Jan Osberg. We then have Alex Fretwell and Stuart Clark with a great qualifying on row 3. Ben Gregory will start 7th alongside Lee Berridge. Then we have Jordan Butler in 9th place alongside his teammate Harry Seven. Then we have John Robertson in 11th. He's alongside Matt Hoyland, who will be hoping to move forward from there. Sam Van Alst and Ashley Beard are next up, with Danny Weir and Martin Kenyon completing the field. It was those four that had to serve qualifying bans. Ian Stitchbury will have to serve one when he next joins us in the championship. Hopefully we'll see him next time round when we head to the delightful Barber Motorsports Park. We make the trip over to the United States for the first time this season. What are your thoughts for this one then, Dara? I mean, it should be a pretty interesting race. We've got a very mixed up grid compared to what we've seen in previous rounds.
Yeah, 10 laps of frantic action here at Jerez. Let's see how the racing goes. I think Dan McCauley's going to be keen to get going from third. And Brayton back hold on from pole. And what can we see from Jax as well? This should be an interesting one, I think, to kick off the evening. Give us an idea of what we'll see for the rest of the night's racing. So we will go under the... I love calling it a UFO at the
it is.
grid there, because it just looks like one, doesn't it? But we're all waiting for everyone to grid up, and then we'll get going.
It's John Brayton back that we're waiting for, actually, at the front of the grid. I know that some of the drivers at the back had qualifying bans, but I was worried they thought they had a race ban as well instead. We'll have to wait and see. John Brayton back, boop, appears there at the front of the grid. And for the first time tonight, we're about to get things underway. As the lights come on, race number 1 in the CDM Clio Cup from Jerez gets going, and it looks like a lovely launch off the line by Jack Johns. He's going to try and get alongside John Brayton back all the way down to turn 1. He moves over to the right slightly. Jean holds the inside line, makes sure that he doesn't overdo it. Jack's going to try and carry that speed though. Oh, he's got in too deep, and Dan McCauley's going to go through. So too is Jan Osberg. Jan doesn't leave the room, and he's off into the wall. Jan Osberg ruins his chance, and he's just gone across the front of the Gold Sus machine. Alex Fretwell moves up a position as well. Looks like Hoyland has had a good start. Little bit of a kiss there from Sam Van Alst, but perfect start from Jean Brayton back. Put the car in the right place at the right time. Ben Gregory's having a belter, up 3 places already.
Yeah, good start for Ben. A little bit wide, just nearly lost it through turn 4 in towards the long right-hander at turn 5 that sets you up onto this back straight. And Gregory will look to try and pounce after Fretwell, but McCauley in a good place to try and keep tabs with Brayton back as well. Sad for Osberg. It's just one of those turn 1 incidents, isn't it, that we see time and time again. He's unlucky to be the one that comes off the worst. Lee Berridge trying to go around the outside of Johns, but nothing going there. 2x2 in the mid-pack.
Nice and close there, Harry Seven and Matt Hoyland, who has made up 3 places off the start. Really good start for him. Like I say there, Ben Gregory going very well. That little mistake for Jack Johns has cost him, and he'll want to prove a point and come back at them for that. And Martin Kenyon has also been off the road, and we'll have a look at what happened to him. I think he's just going to tap the back of one of these guys maybe as they come back over. As Danny Weir is over on the left-hand side. Oh, whoa, it's just gone straight on. Thought wondered there for a moment if either of them were just going to come back across and just tap him. Let's have a look at what happened to Jan Osberg then. We'll see it from the chopper cam. So he gets down the inside of Jack Johns, but he just runs it out to the left. I think he's focusing on Alex Fretwell to his right-hand side, trying to give him room. And he just continues to go left, and there's nowhere really for Jack to go, to be honest, and not really anything could be done there. Ashley Beard has just been off the road, and I think that's the exit of the chicane. There's damage on the front of Danny Weir's car that says guilty, Your Honour. And Ben Gregory has just lost a few places after getting a slowdown. What a busy first lap. That's only one of them.
Yeah, 9 more to go in this one, as Breitenbach has the advantage, and Macaulay's the one that's going to be chasing him down because he's got the gap back to Fretwell, and Fretwell's going to be under pressure from Johns almost immediately, you'd think, as you can see them run through turn 1 right close together, a bit wide from Butler's going to allow Beard up the inside, but he's not going to go for it late on the brakes. I was going to say as well, because obviously Kenyon dropped off the back and it was unexplained why, but I don't know if we can have just a quick look at his car. I was worried that, as it says on the nose, he could have been tagged. Thank you.
That is why he's getting paid, everybody. Jean Breitenbach leads the way, though, and I mean, I'm going to continually bang the drum about him saying tonight that he would be here, but off the pace. He's currently leading the race, and it's on merit as well. This isn't a reverse grid race. He's qualified on pole position, and he leads the way. Dan McCauley leads the race as they come out of the hairpin. Alex Fretwell second place. Jack Johns is third. Oh, sometimes I wonder why I open me gob.
Yeah. Oh, same. Jean, yeah, I mean, Dan to see, he's got work to do now. He's he's been throwing himself into it. Ben, Lee, they're right in front of him, but I mean, he had a clear road in front of him, and all of a sudden it's congestion. At the M25 in the evening.
Anytime.
Well, anytime, that's a good point, especially on Heathrow. Goodness me. But Breitenbach has got a couple of moves to make. Is he going to go for it immediately down the inside? No. Haven't really seen anybody throw it up the inside yet. They're not testing the boundaries as much as I thought they would in the early stages of the first race.
That's because I told them to chill out. But no, you sound like you're about double your age, Dara, moaning about how busy the M25 is near Heathrow, but fair play to you. But Jean became Jean out Breitenbach as he went down into the hairpin, I'm afraid, and now he finds himself in the middle of this train. Look who's at the back of it, though. Matt Hoyland, 4 places gained for him so far. Well, 4.5, because he's that far up the back of Stuart Clark, to be fair. He now tries to make the move to the left-hand side, but it's just going to be a drag race down towards turn 1. Car coming out of the pit lane is quite scary. That's Jan Osberg. Hopefully he doesn't just rejoin onto the racing line. He gets onto the brakes, and hopefully there's not a replica of the incident he had that put him in the pits. Oh, dearie me. I mean, I would have just stopped at the end of the pit lane there, Jan, to be honest. Wow.
Well, he's in the middle of it, isn't he? Van Ols will go through. Continue on his merry way after his qualifying ban. So he's now in P10, so he's working his way up nicely. Good to see him being able to challenge back again, and it's good to see, I think, that the top 10 after 5 minutes is still only split by 6 seconds.
Yeah,
which is quite a nice narrow gap for quite a few drivers. Fretwell and Johns could be going at it very shortly, and Fretwell's feeling the need to throw a defensive line now.
Yeah, he moves over to the right-hand side. They've had a warning about moving over on each other on straights and moving multiple times in reaction to one another, so they need to be careful about that. It's great to see the grid so sort of mixed up race after race. We've got a few consistent drivers that are usually near the front, but it's just lovely to see so many of them battling over different positions. Lee Berridge is having a really good run in the championship at the moment. He's in 4th place after starting at 8th on the grid. He's ahead of Ben Gregory, who returns after a 1-round ban from Donington Park, and yeah, it's just great to see that we've got battles between just about anybody and everybody. Jack Johns trying to put his nose up the inside, and he's forced Fretwell into a mistake. Fretwell goes in deep, maybe tried to avoid Jack hitting him or something, but yeah, he's put his nose down the inside, made the mistake. Lee gives it a bit of a move one way, then the other to sort of show his nose down the inside, but something tells me this is all going to help the Scotsman out front, Dan McCauley, Series 1, P1 right now, while all of this lot goes on behind him.
Yep, and he's pulling that gap away, seeing 1.7, well, actually, it's closed a bit, 1.5 now the gap. But still comfortable for Dan McCauley at the front of the field. 3 down, 7 will remain for him. Stuart Clark at the back of this train, slightly disconnected because John Breitenbach is on the tail of Ben Gregory. Lee Berridge is under pressure as well, as is Alex Fretwell. Those 4 are right together, really pushing each other through towards turn 1. No one's going to dive it late on the brakes, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 even with Johns at the front flash their way through the frame, and this could get pretty explosive pretty quickly.
It definitely could. There's a battle behind this as well, actually. There's Hoyland on the back of that train, and then we've got Harry Seven and Sam Van Alst. Interesting to see Danny Weir and Jordan Butler 14th and 15th. Of course, that would be pole position in race number 2 for Jordan if he can finish there, and he'll score a championship point as a result. But yeah, that little move to the inside by Jack John certainly scared Fretwell out of the way. And now Alex will want to try and get back at him. But Jack is really quick in this car. He's certainly not represented correctly in the championship points. At the moment, he's down in 12th place with just 41 points, 50 off Dan McCauley in second place. But he really is a quick guy in these cars. He's quick in a lot of things, is Jack. I've commentated on him in numerous front-wheel drive machines, Formula cars, all sorts. He's always fast, but sometimes his own worst enemy and just getting a little bit exuberant, but aren't we all sometimes? Ben Gregory's going well. 5th place for him, sure. He had a slowdown earlier on and lost a bit of time, but he's still very much in the mix here with a lot of beautiful, colourful cars around him. It's a great-looking grid.
Yeah, it is. And it's good to see that variation, even though there are only 16 cars. Real good variation in the group that we've got. Even in that car in front of Ben Gregory, Lee Berridge, it's variations from the front to the rear of immense degrees. It looks like the Mediterranean at the back, and looks like the end of a dodgy curry at the front. It's it's not two things you necessarily put together, but on the car it looks fantastic. You've got Matt Hoyland with a slowdown penalty. He's taken out too much of that chicane and he's going to suffer the consequences. Van Alst is flashing the lights to just alert Matt to his presence, but I'm sure Matt's well aware. He serves to slow down and defends the inside line. And Van Alst goes a bit wide there, trying to hook it around the outside, and that's the risk you're going to have to face.
I mean, as you say, he alerted him to his presence. He did that by driving into his door as well. Either way, a battle further back, Jordan Butler and... that's Jan Osberg going past him. Sorry, that's John Roberts. Jan Osberg going past him. I think John had a slowdown penalty to serve. He's got Ash Beard behind him now. Jordan Butler there, trying to make the move on Danny Weir. God, I held my breath while also talking then. John Breitenbach and Ben Gregory fighting for the most colourful car on the grid. Getting right together. This is how further cars like this are made, I'm sure. But it looks like Jean, he's able to carry this pace. It's not knocked his confidence having that mistake earlier, has it?
No, it's not. Not at all. And that's good to see, because it means that he's not going to be quelled throughout the rest of the evening. It's going to make sure that he's still fighting all the way through. But I think he'll be slightly concerned that he hasn't yet found a way through on Ben Gregory. Despite having that pole-setting pace, he hasn't quite been able to use it in the race to this point to make moves work for him. And he's going to have to do that soon, because Gregory's becoming slightly more disconnected from Lee Berridge with every passing sector. So he's got to be careful not to allow the others to get too far away. It's Danny Weir and Mr. Butler fight it out for the final position on the track.
Yeah, Jordan just got down the inside through the hairpin, but now Danny's got the run through the left-hander to keep it back in front. They're both going to have to compromise their run through this next left-hander. They are wing mirror to wing mirror around there, nice and close. This is exactly what tin top racing is all about. You can go door to door, you can lean on each other a little bit, nothing silly through there, and eventually Jordan Butler just slides back in front. Danny has to back out of it so he can see the apex. But at the very sharp end, Dan McCauley continues to lead. We've just hit race distance half now, words English. Dan McCauley into the last corner, keeps it nice and tidy. He only got home about a few minutes before the briefing started, so he's been right into the deep end here tonight. As, oh dearie me, Stuart Clark in the background there has a slowdown penalty to serve. Sam Van Alst knows it, and he is flashing the lights at him to say, please don't serve that in front of me. What about Breitenbach? Still looking at Gregory. God, again, just like there was last week, there's battles everywhere. Hoyland's just on the fastest lap of the race, and he's gained 5 positions, so maybe he's one to watch. I mean, he won race 1 back at Donington Park.
He did, and that's going to be something that I think he's going to keep him positive, not just tonight, but throughout the rest of the season as well. He knows that he has the pace to do so, or to win races when given the chance. So, yeah, definitely a positive for him. Stuart Clark, well, he's eaten some concrete.
That's the nice way of putting it. Him and Sam Van Alst just came together just as we stopped looking at them there. We'll have a good look at this from Harry Seven's perspective. The two of them right with each other. Sam didn't leave him a lot of room to play with there. As they go through, they just come together as they go to the right. And that is big damage on Stuart Clark's car, I'm afraid. Massive, massive damage on the front. The bumper does pop back on, but it's that typical thing where they just hook one another, and as soon as they do that, they're front-wheel drive cars, so they just go around. Sam is... yeah, Stewart just seems to go straight, doesn't he? Right in front of the camera, into the barrier. It didn't end up being as big an impact as you'd expect, but that right rear is bent in, and that's what's going to have given the meatball flag.
Yep, it is, and that'll be him coming down pit lane and finishing P15 in this opening race of the evening, unless someone else has something horrific befall them in the last few laps here. There'll be 4 more to go when they cross the line. Stan McCauley leads the way. That gap is coming down, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
1.7 it was a couple of laps ago, then 1.5, now 1.1. And Jack Johns is getting a move on at the moment to try and close down this gap for the lead, and he has got the time to do it. I mean, there are such long straights around here that the second you start picking up a toe, it's really, really going to help you.
Yeah.
Close in on the car in front, and that'll be what he's targeting right now. But lapping nicely, and he's dragging Fretwell along with him.
Yeah, he was a tenth and a half faster than Dan McCauley on that previous lap. Dan did a 2:01.2, Jack did a 2:01.0. Fretwell was about the same as Dan, just a couple of hundredths in it. Same for Lee Berridge as well. In fact, Ben Gregory and then Matt Hoyland were both the quickest on the track. Ben Gregory doing a 2 minutes flat 0.8, and then Hoyland doing a 2 minutes 0.6 as well. Hoyland is starting to catch up with John Breitenbach, though, who sat on pole position. He's just done his personal best lap of the race, which is a 2:01.2. That is still 6/10 slower than what Hoyland just did on that previous lap, and that wasn't Matt's fastest lap either, so fair play. He's really flying. He's done a 2 minutes 0.5. In fact, that is the fastest lap of the race still. So, yeah, the number 44 machine, just like it was a couple of years ago, is the fastest car on the track.
Yeah, he was. So there's more than a few that are keeping their noses very much involved in this race. There's a lot of names I think we'll have to keep an eye on when we get to the reverse grids. In fact, there is no doubt. Hoyland is one of them, I think. Slightly concerned, though, for my own personal well-being that Harry 7 is in 8th, not quite 7th. But thankfully, Martin Kenyon is in 11th.
Yes.
So there is some equality in the world.
Only just. But thank you very much, Martin, for your services to OCD. Appreciate it. He's had a bit of progress so far, though. He started 16th and started last on the grid after his qualifying ban, so hats off to him. It's been lovely to see these drivers have these... it's not been lovely to see them have the penalties applied, but it's been lovely to see the bounce back after they've had said penalties applied. I mean, look at Leo Ayner last week at Donington Park. Came back after a 1-round ban and won the second race of the night. It was absolutely amazing, that drive in the wet. He was rapid. Right now, Ben Gregory has just run wide into the final corner. John Breitenbach has gone for it, and now Hoyland tries to go through that gap on the right-hand side. Oh, dearie me, it didn't need to happen, gentlemen. Oh, that was very, very silly. Ben is all too eager to press that button and flash the lights. But, yeah, Hoyland he was right with him, and then it just looked like from that angle that he just put him in the fence.
Yeah, it's not ideal, is it? Optically could be bad. Let's see it again. Hoyland behind Breitenbach in towards the final corner. A little bit wide then. I mean, Brett John's on the inside line. Nothing wrong there. A little bit wide. And they come onto the front straight. Obviously, Matt with the best slipstream will go to the inside line. Is there room? Not really. Does he still go for it? Yes. There's just not room, is there?
No.
And yeah, I think Matt will look back on that one and maybe think he should have done otherwise as he goes up the inside of John this time. A little bit cleaner.
Yeah, he's not going to enjoy watching that one back, and I don't think any of the stewards are as well. But yeah, I don't particularly think Ben was moving, but that's for them to decide, of course. That will be looked at. We're not going to steward live now. This is an interesting little line to take, actually, round the outside for Hoyland, because what it will be is then the inside line for the next corner. Nicely done by Matt to get through down the inside. Quite the contrast of his last 2 laps, really. Ben Gregory fighting Sam Van Olst. Now, Ben Gregory does have a meatball flag here, so he knows he will be coming into the pit lane. Not really sure he should be fighting it that hard, but yeah, he'll at least circulate as quickly as he can, but want to get out of the way of these guys, I think, and make sure he doesn't hold them up too much. John Roberts side by side with Martin Kenyon here for what will be 10th place. Both of them want in a top 10. John goes in a little bit hot into the chicane, but manages to get it stopped for the second apex. A bit of contact on the exit. He then gives the room back to Martin. Nice stuff by John. Unfortunately, concedes the position, but that would be his second top 10 of the year. If he gets that done, he'll be, I'm sure, hoping to secure that by having another go at Martin in the last couple of laps. Fastest lap of his race for Alex Fretwell, as he has now started to mount a charge on Jack Johns. This is all but helping Dan McCauley.
Yeah, and Dan McCauley's just been able to kind of get himself out of a little bit of bother by this a bit of pressure that Johns has felt from Fretwell. And now a couple of seconds in hand, a lap and a half remaining. I think you'd be feeling far more confident about yourself, wouldn't you? Excuse me, if you were Dan McCauley. So good spot to be in right now, I think. I think Johns, though, the one dropping off the pace a touch, is going to start to feel the pressure from Fretwell, knowing that he's only a lap and a half away from what could be a P2 and a big chunk of points. And with Fretwell looking in the mirrors, it's going to be a little bit tricky.
Yeah, it absolutely will be. And Jack has had a bit of a patchy season so far. First race of the season didn't go his way. He was DNF'd in race 1, then 14th, then 16th. He's had 4 points positions since then. He's been in the top 10 4 more times. But yeah, I know that a second place will help him massively, because for second position you get 20 championship points, and considering where he is and the drivers that he's around in the championship, he would jump up to maybe 8th in the standings if he finished where he is. And Fretwell would be right up there as well, because he would potentially move ahead. No, he would move ahead of Sam Van Olst. So he would gain maybe 3rd in the championship right now. So both of these guys need to think about the bigger picture and their potential championship position, and not overdo it with what will be one more lap to go here. Hoyland, granted, he had that incident with Ben, which was, well, it will be very frowned upon. He's having a great race otherwise, though. He's gained 7 positions so far, from 12th on the grid, after having a bit of a messy qualifying and not being in half of it. So I'm sure he'll be loving this, especially now as he's having a go at Berridge.
He is, with the white flag flying. There he is, Barney, up in the booth there. He's got Hoyland and Berridge going right beneath him. This time Hoyland's done nothing wrong on the outside line. Berridge coming across a little bit. But we'll have the inside line anyway. Miracle that they both kept going in a straight line. But goodness me, Matt Hoyland's had a more than a fair share of contact down the front straight, and somehow hasn't spun around once.
I swear sometimes it's like these guys drive without their spotters on or something, or they just don't listen to him. Because sometimes you see people moving on straights and you wonder what possessed them to do it. But yeah, Lee goes to the left, and to be fair, he, I think, is the more lucky one there, not to be spat across Matt's nose and into the barrier like we saw with Ben Gregory earlier on. But at the front, Dan McCauley is going to be loving this. He'll be looking in his rearview mirror, and he will see that Jack Johns and Alex Fretwell are further away than they were before, and know that he is going to be just keeping it quiet right now. It's not like Dan to be quiet. He's normally taking the mick out of me in one way or another as the move goes on in the background. But Dan will be, I'm sure, silent, hyper-focused right now, tongue out. Oakley will be cheering him on. But we've got some great scraps going on with just a few corners left, haven't we?
We do. McCauley's lost 6 of those tenths that he gained from the battling, so it just shows that I think if Johns was allowed to get on with it by Fretwell, or if he had a bit more pace a couple of laps ago, they could have been right on him for the win on this final lap. Hoyland's gone wide. That's going to lose him a chance at a top 5 spot, and Breakback's finally got inside of that threshold, but no one's going to be able to get McCauley unless he messes up this chicane right here. Once he gets out of it, there's one more corner to go.
Yeah, he's got this nice little kink round here, and then just one more braking zone, and he will be on for what will be his first race win of the season. Just 3 podiums so far for Dan McCauley. Okayama race 2 and 3, finished in 2nd place. He got on the podium at the end of Donington Park, but now he takes his first win in the CDM Clio Cup. Dan McCauley wins at Jerez. Jack Johns gets a great 2nd place, and Alex Fretwell continues really well in the championship with another podium. Lee Berridge finishes 4th ahead of John Breitenbach and Matt Hoyland, while Sam Van Olst has a great drive through the order from 13th to finish in 7th. He is ahead of Harry 7. Martin Kenyon will be next up, but look at that run to the line in the background there, Dara, side by side.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be Butler, I think, just about going to come out in front. It will indeed, ahead of Roberts, and then Beard will come in P12. Weir and then Gregory and Clark kind of a little bit disconnected from the rest of the field, will round off the 15 finishers.
Fantastic stuff, though, for Dan McCauley to take his first win of the season. He's been close on a number of occasions, as we've said, but that is the first time he has triumphed on the top spot. And to do it at a circuit like Jerez, where it's really not easy, I know will make him very happy indeed. But great stuff. Great first race to watch. Sure, a little bit of contact here and there that we would maybe prefer not to see, but this is still motor racing at the end of the day, and it is still very competitive. We'll quickly run you through the grid for race number 2. which will see Stuart Clark and Ben Gregory. Both of them will feel hard done by in that first race, but they start on the front row now with Danny Weir and Ashley Beard next up. Then it's John Roberts alongside Jordan Butler, Martin Kenyon and Harry Seven, with Sam Van Alsten and Matt Hoyland completing the top 10. We then have John Breitenbach and Lee Berridge. They will have Alex Fretwell and Jack Johns behind them. Dan McCauley, after just winning a race, will have to start from 15th. And Jan Osberg will want to be having a much better turn one from 16th on the grid. Any guesses in this one, Dara? Because we are literally straight off the back of race one. We've got an idea of the pace. Anyone you've got your eye on?
I mean, I think anybody towards the front of the field has a chance here. Pace seemed all quite even, and overtaking looked a little bit more difficult than maybe we expected. So I think if you're towards the front of the field, you've got a shot, and that'll give comfort to quite a few of these guys, I think.
Well, it looks like we're going to get going without Matt Hoyland. He hasn't taken to the grid here. He should be on the right-hand side, but unfortunately, he's not going to make it. Race number 2 of the night in the CDM Clio Cup from Jerez gets underway, and it's a really solid start by Stuart Clark. Manages to keep ahead of Ben Gregory off the line. Danny Weir now moves to the left, a lot of them switching from one side of the track to the other. But Stuart Clark will lead the field nice and tidy into the first right-hander. Everybody trying to behave themselves. No sort of door banging or wing mirror folding or anything like that. Jordan Butler's on the inside line there as Kenyon's gone in deep. Kenyon makes contact. Oh, Lee Berridge involved in that as well. Jack Johns into the back of him. Kenyon, I think, hit Jordan Butler, which is why there's a big gap in front of him now. He carries on with his fight with John Roberts, and Harry Seven, his teammate, is in it as well.
Yeah, I think it was with Kenyon locking up there. You could see him going almost straight on into the braking zone. Unfortunate, but another lap 1 incident for him is going to keep him towards the back of the field. Side by side as they come through turn 5. Harry Seven's in P6 now. Or he might be in 7th if Van Ols can get the up and under nicely on him, which it looks like he has, and indeed he will. 2 by 1 by 2 as they work their way down the hill. John Breitenbach in P10, Fretwell alongside him. Oh, this could get messy. Yeah,
Breitenbach's making it 3 wide in there, really, with John Roberts around the outside. Fretwell's gone a little bit hot. Oh, dearie me, Roberts' car just snaps left. John Roberts' car went very suddenly left there, full steering, and it nearly went completely around on him. Top 4 are as they were at the start of the race. Biggest movers so far, Alex Fretwell, who's gained 5 places, so too Dan McCauley. He's right up behind John Breitenbach. Lee Berridge, unfortunately, has a meatball flag for the damage in that early incident. And Matt Hoyland is in the race, albeit 8 seconds down on everyone else. He'll be gutted. But his teammate, Danny Weir, he's running in 3rd place at the moment. He'll try and defend that position as best he can.
He will. And Danny's... this is a great chance for Danny, isn't it? To be in a podium position already. We'll see if he can build off of it, or at least just maintain it throughout this race. He's got, again, 10 laps of racing to separate himself with that possible podium. And Clark and Gregory in front, I think he'll fancy his chances of challenging them for the win, as long as he can keep the rest behind. But, it's easier said than done, isn't it?
Yeah, Stuart there trying to break the slipstream, but you've got basically the whole field there, -3, all in one big train all the way down. It's great to see it. You love to see it. Jack Johns has gotten past Dan McCauley, and so too has Lee Berridge. I think Dan might have had a slowdown penalty or something further down the order. Obviously, the race 1 winner we need to keep an eye on and see what's happened to him. Let's have a look. Into the hairpin they go. Jack's going to put his nose down the inside. Nicely done. Puts down on the outside line, and then, yeah, he's got nowhere to go. And through he goes. Nice clean move that by Jack Johns. Good stuff.
Yep, and into P10 as the top 12 are separated by just about 4 seconds. I know we're only on lap 2, but really, really congested, and that's what the reverse grid's giving us here in race 2. Something's happening with McCauley's internet. He's blinking in and out, which is not going to be helping Osberg and Johns around him. As they work their way through turn 6, it's Stuart Clark driving over the beach of gravel. It's being left there by the guys going wide in on lap 1. But he's still out in front. Gregory not able to lay a glove on him yet.
No, Ben is a little bit quicker than him at the moment. So I'm intrigued to see how long Ben waits to make a move, if he is going to make one, as the battles go on behind. Alex Fretwell trying to get one over on Harry Seven. Later on the brakes down the inside. Nice and tidy that by Fretwell. A little bit of a kiss on the way through as Seven decides that he just wants to glance the rear end of that lovely 9PP racing machine. Jan Osberg on the train here, looking to get past Dan McCauley. He's made a move there actually into the chicane, puts his nose down the inside. That's only going to compromise the pair of them though, and Dan is going to be doing the old karting trick of tapping his helmet and just saying, move forward, sunshine, move forward. Let's not worry about fighting each other. Let's scrap with those guys ahead. Sam van Olst is on the move, though. Don't forget, he won the final race at Donington Park after a good drive through. And now, oh, he's gotten ahead of Ashley Beard, who just, well, Jordan Butler just goes across the nose of him out of the final corner. And again, it was just one of those things. I think drivers are often misjudging the overlap they've got or the run they've got on another car and then, yeah, not leaving the room on the exit for them to be there.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? When there's so many cars around, it's difficult to pick the right places on the track to be. Let's see what happened again. Here's Ashley Beard's point of view. Car on the inside, just tries to hook it around the outside, and there's the car. There it is. I mean, there's nothing. Ashley Beard could have done that.
No.
On the outside line, taking his own line, he's going slower and then just hit into. So, unfortunate for him, really.
Yeah, it's a shame, but yeah, Jordan Butler just came out of nowhere in that one, really, and then was suddenly across the nose. Ben Gregory isn't, I was going to say, not making too many moves yet. He's moving around behind Stuart Clark, but the two of them, are starting to break away slightly from Danny Weir and Sam van Olst. Sam's going to go for it down the inside here on the brakes. He's good on the brakes, is Sam. Danny's trying to squeeze him to the apex a little bit late there, and Sam's going to have that move done and up into third position. Great scrap going on behind, though, with Alex Fretwell ahead of Harry Seven, John Breitenbach, Jack Johnson, Dan McCauley. That quintet could very easily catch these guys if this third place battle carries on, but quite frankly, I think that Sam van Olst has got the pace after doing the fastest lap last time round to go forward and maybe have a crack here at Ben Gregory and Stuart Clark. I suppose it's a positive to see that the format works in ways that gives drivers another chance. You know, Ben had a big accident in that first race, but now he's in the fight for race number 2 if he can stay up there, not hit the back of Stuart Clark. But yeah, it's good to see that the format works in those ways. Oh, a big off for John Breitenbach. Did you hear that?
Yep, I did hear that, and it didn't sound promising. And that's not the right circuit, and someone went wide in front of him. It's all going off down there. Let's see what happened from John's point of view. It's going to happen down into this hairpin, or sorry, into this chicane, not quite hairpin. Does he go too deep? Yes, he does go too deep, tries to avoid.
I think that was Harry Seven, was it?
Yeah, didn't quite hit anything, and that'll be a silver lining, but he's still down in 11th now.
Yeah, he won't be too pleased with that one, will John? He's had a very trying night, considering that he put it on pole for the first time this season here at Jerez. A few moves here and there, a few drivers trying to make something of this. Harry Seven down the inside of Danny Weir. Jack Johns needs to be careful not to hook him on the exit there. He's got Dan McCauley right behind him now as well, trying to fight his way through. Jack flashing the lights at Harry as if to say, just get out of the way, let me through. Jack knows how quick he can be. He was rapid in that previous race. Now he's trying to put whatever pressure on he can. He's missed the corner because he's too busy flashing the lights. Dan might have a bit of a run on him there. But we need to go back to the front because Stuart Clark and Ben Gregory have spread out a little bit. Ben wiggling this way and that way. Not quite sure why. There was a driver at Donington Park, got a warning for that, in fact, in the last round. Dan has gone past Jack now into the hairpin. And the Scotsman all over the back of Harry Seven almost immediately. But all of a sudden, the gap is disappearing now. Stuart Clark is ahead of Ben Gregory by 0.6 of a second. And Van Olst is closer to Gregory than he is to Clark.
Yeah, he is. So, I mean, it's a difficult spot to be in right now. It's a bit of a weird one. But it's great for Stuart Clark to still be in the lead on lap 4 of this race. Of course, he had it from the reverse grid, but he's not let it go just yet. In fact, Ben Gregory is there as well as a real sign that they have good enough pace. Van Olst, of course, he had that quali ban. Worked his way back through in race 1 as far as he could, but it meant that he started towards the front in race 2, and he's going to be up into P2 because Gregory's gone off the road. But he's the one I think you've got to be worried about if you're Stuart Clark now.
I mean, not to moan too much, but this is just another prime example here of what I was talking about before. The incident that we saw between Jordan Butler and Ashley Beard, where there's a car coming back on the track, and the car passing them just doesn't leave enough room. Look how close this is to an incident. You can't be taking risks like that because all of a sudden you'll be across the nose of somebody, you'll blame them, and then you'll have to be forced to watch the replay as you drive across the front of another car. It's like changing lanes when there's a car right next to you on the motorway. There's just no need to cut their nose off like that. Dan McCauley's down the inside of Danny Weir here. He's just been overtaken by Harry Seven, and now Dan's going to slide his way through down the inside, leaves racing room on the left as Danny clips the curb. Jack Johns will want to gain at least one position from all of this. He needs to be careful through the left, not to hook each other. A little bit of a tap through there now. Dan's leaving more room for Danny after that bit of contact. Jack wants to come through with him. Jack's just driven into the rear corner of him mid-corner, saying, go on then. And Jack's forced the door open, and they remain side by side down the back straight. Dan moves over to the right to say, no, thank you. That's his move. We've been talking to the drivers about moving multiple times on the straights as Jack moves over. Danny's late on the brakes. So there's a bit of a door on the way in. And now he's kissed Dan on the way out. God, there's not going to be one single corner on that car that's gone a completely straight panel on it on Jack's car.
No, I don't think there is. And it looks a little bit discombobulated at the moment, isn't it, from the outside? Not even halfway through the race yet. He's got Danny Weir right behind him, trying to make his way back through after his promising start came slightly undone. And they'll both be fighting it out side by side in towards 9 and 10. You're not going to go around the outside there. It's just not going to happen. And I think Danny's realised that. That's back into line by the time they get into the second part of the double right-hander. Stuart Clark still leads, but Van Olst really is on a charge. And he's closed that gap right down in just a lap.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. Is Sam Van Olst. He was 9/10 of a second quicker than Stuart Clark on that previous lap. And the Gold Sus driver has gained 7 places so far. Hats off to Alex Fretwell and Dan McCauley. They've both gained 9 places each. In fact, Dan's now gained 10 at the expense of Harry 7, who was just serving a slowdown penalty. So your race 1 winner back up inside the top 5. That's why Van Olst needs to get a move on here and make this move for the lead, because he does not want to lose any championship points to Dan. Sam came here tonight, 3rd in the championship, just 1 point behind the Scotsman. So he knows that he needs to outscore Dan above anybody else. Ryan Stitchbury not here tonight to race against. And Sam, it must be said, has done a great job using the format so far after a qualifying ban to come back through. But yeah, just driving into the back of another car like that won't help him. Although Stewart, oh dearie me, has a real moment. And look at that, down the inside Ben Gregory goes through. Thank you very much, I'll have that race lead.
And they're going to be 2 by 2, aren't they, in towards turn 5. Not a place where you normally see too many side-by-side overtakes work out, but Clark's going to be on the inside. Fretwell's going to just about keep it. The fact that Ben Gregory's got back to the lead, he's probably as surprised as anybody else right now after dropping down to 3rd and having Van Olst in front of him. They're going to be nearly 2 by 2 again then, in towards turn 6. Van Olst looking for the inside line, diving late for it. It's being squeezed off by Ben Gregory, but the inside line is found by Van Olst. He's just about made it work for him, and he'll get back to the lead. That's a really ambitious but really good move in the end. Can he hold it around the outside through turn 7 and turn 8? I'm not too sure. Because Gregory's going to have the better run, but a really bad exit from Gregory is going to give the chance to Van Olst. Where's Fretwell in all this? This is crazy. This
is absolutely brilliant racing. I mean, Van Olst went for that gap. He made it clear. It wasn't be advised to try and squeeze a gap like that from Ben Gregory or anybody for that matter. But you know what? Ben went to squeeze him and then thought, no, you know what? I'm not going to put him there. He just left him a car's width down the inside and fair play. That was really close racing. But Sam Van Olst now leads this race from Ben Gregory, Alex Fretwell, Stuart Clark, Dan McCauley in there as well. Harry 7 under pressure from Jack Johns as they go into the chicane. Bit of contact. Jack runs a bit wide. Harry can't disappear. Jack now, runs wide into him again as he bounces over the curb. Goodness me, a little bit scrappy in all of that. I know that these guys are enjoying getting their elbows out and having a scrap, but goodness me, Sam Van Olst back to the inside of Ben Gregory and retakes the race lead. Wow, this is absolutely brilliant. It could all come to a head, but look who is back in the mix now. 5th place, Dan McCauley.
Yep, and all of a sudden he's into the frame. He was kind of nowhere in 7th for half the race, but has jumped into contention here. He's only about a second and 2/10 off the lead. Not a long way away at all. And the man who's looking to try and take the championship lead tonight is doing everything he can and going exactly the right way about it at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. A bit further back, we've got Martin Kenyon, what's left of his car, fighting with John Brayton back for 12th and 13th. Difficult bit about this race for these guys is knowing that there's no reverse grid for race 3. So wherever you finish in this race is all your grid position for the final race of the night. So in the later stages, you might not see guys risking too much or sandbagging too much. They don't want to travel too far in either direction. They might just lock down a position, think, look, it's good for me to finish 5th, score some points, and then I've got all of race 3 to make up some ground. If you're Dan McCauley right now, anyway, that's how he'd be looking at it. But Sam Van Olst wants that race win. He needs to outscore Dan in terms of points right now. And Sam, the Belgian driver, always exciting to watch, always a bit rambunctious, we would say. Trying to defend from Ben Gregory, who puts his nose back down the inside, makes sure that he doesn't run wide. Nice room given there by Sam. This is the thing, it may look a bit argy-bargy and a bit scrappy sometimes, but the guys are giving themselves great room around a lot of these corners. And we've got 5 cars separated by less than a second for the race lead. This is exactly what we wanted in the CDM Clio Cup. We hope you're enjoying the show so far tonight. It's Chaz, Draycott and Darragh Thacker in the commentary box. Thank you again to Abruzzi, Fireback Glass, Phil there, all the partners of the CDM Clio Cup and the supporters of what we do here. It is an absolute joy to bring you this championship. Stressful to do the stewarding, but it's worth it to watch this fantastic racing. What do you reckon here, Darragh? Can Sam Van Alst hold off these guys behind him? Because we know just how quick he is. I'd argue he is quicker than Gregory on paper, but Ben has got a bit of slipstream to help him out and pressure from behind.
Yep, I mean, we've got 3 laps to find out. Van Alst is in the best position you'd want to be in his position right now, but you've got to be nervous of the other guys behind. The issue for everyone, I think, is that there are just a couple of tenths away. They're just too far away to make a send in some of these corners, so they're not going to do it just yet. I think it might blow up on the final lap, but not this time by. You could see Macaulay making a couple of looks in the back of Stuart Clark, but nothing concrete. Gregory going wide in the back of Van Alst, and you can tell that Van Alst has the pace. Gregory's just being able to keep up down these, medium length straights by just using the slipstream at the moment.
We've got a battle here between Danny Weir and Jan Osberg for 8th and 9th place. I think it was Jan getting past Danny. Danny came back at him, but ultimately has relinquished the position. Hoyland running down in 14th place at the moment, not having the race to remember, but he missed the start of this one. Not quite sure why, but hopefully he is all good. And I mean, he's still racing, so must be okay. But yeah, it's a shame to see him miss the start of the race like that. And hopefully the last race of the night can be good to him, because he's done almost the fastest lap of the race. I think the fastest lap so far has gone to Dan Macaulay, actually, 2 minutes 0.79, whereas the rest of the field are all in the 2:01s and 2:02s. But we've got a very, very interesting race on our hands, haven't we here, Darragh? There's lots that could still happen in these last 4 minutes.
Yeah, and I think these 4 minutes are going to go past pretty quickly for these guys. Just 2 tours of the circuit. I feel like Jerez has one of those, quite a lot of dead time. Because you do spend so much time on straights, that time almost evaporates away.
Yeah.
Because you don't feel like you have too many chances on each lap, and there's only 10 laps in the race. So I think by the time we get to the final lap, they're going to start to get a bit of a jiffy on. But it's difficult, isn't it? They're just not quite close enough to make those sends that I think they want to make. Seven's taking it away. He's eaten on the inside of that curb, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, basically cut the corner at that point.
Yeah, he may as well go in the pit lane. He's in 7th place at the minute, though, which keeps me happy. Martin Kenyon is nearly in 11th place. He's trying. He's really trying to keep us happy. But he has lost 5 places from where he started this race, so I know one more position would be very pleasing for him to gain. Hoyland just gets ahead of John Brayton back. John serving a slow-down penalty out of the final corner. Sam Van Alst and Ben Gregory almost doing identical lap times last time round. 2:01.5s, 2:01.6 for Fretwell, 2:02.1 and a 2:02.0 for the rest of them. Fretwell finished, I believe, 3rd in that last race. So now he's back into 3rd again, because, yeah, it was just Jack Johns that was between him and Dan Macaulay. So, yeah, Fretwell on for his 2nd podium of the night. What a drive that is so far through the order.
Yep, he has. I mean, a bit of a weird championship, I think, so far for Fretwell, because he's been there, isn't he? Every race, he's just not necessarily got those top-end results, but he is there every single time the lights go out, and really by the time we get towards the checkered flag as well. So he's in frame, especially if this battle between Van Alst and Gregory gets tasty, and looks like it could. Yeah,
Ben sending a big message down the inside there, and that message is, I want to throw myself off the racing line and lose you, basically. He's going a little bit hot into there now as well. I think Ben trying a little bit too hard, and Fretwell's going to have a really easy move to make down the inside, so long as Ben gives him room on the exit. Oh, kissing wing mirrors as they head into the chicane. This is all but going to cement the win for Sam Van Alst, barring any major issue. Oh, Alex really tidy through there. Gets it onto the apex. Fair play to the pair of them. That was really close. Big netcode. Ben Gregory manages to hold it. Wow, that was really good stuff between the pair of them through there. I really enjoyed watching that. Shame about the netcode, but look at this now as they all weave and wiggle this way then the other. Dan Macaulay trying it round the outside of Stuart Clark into the final corner. Not sure that's going to work. Fretwell has been on the podium 6 times so far this season, and he's going to get his 7th if he stays where he is. But just in front of them, Sam Van Alst, he's going to be laughing in Belgium as he crosses the line now and starts the final lap.
Of course, Belgian famously a language, as they go.
You know
through
what,
turmoil.
actually, I said that really confident, knowing after last year when I went to Zolder, I tried to Google Translate everything. I was like, why is there no bloody Belgian on here? And I still committed.
With a name like Van Elst, I'm going to presume Dutch, though.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
And if I'm wrong, I can only apologise. I'm making a sweeping presumption. But either way, Fretwell's having to defend because Macaulay's looking very keen at the moment as they run their way through turn 5, and he's got less of a slipstream help from Ben Gregory. But, I mean, Ben Gregory's not got any help from Van Elst because he's gone up the road. There's only really a couple more spots where you feel like you can make a move to the end of this race, so Macaulay's not got long to do it. Kenyon involved with Beard and Weir, and you've got Butler in behind. Of course, Kenyon had that incident on the opening lap, but he's still involved with possibly a top 9 here.
Danny Weir later on the brakes and Ashley Beard. Jordan Butler trying to go later on the brakes and Martin Kenyon. I think a few people are silently rooting for Martin to get ahead of Jordan just so he's in 11th place to match his car number. Matt Hoyland on the outside of Butler now trying to gain at least one more place in this race to get right to the sharp end. But yeah, we've got a fantastic scrap going on here. Ben Gregory in second place is the only car in the position he started this race, actually. So it's great to see that he's been able to continue fighting as hard as he has and hold on to that spot. Hoyland has gotten ahead of Butler in the background by the look of it. But as they go through the chicane once more and through the double right kinks, it looks like for the second time in just 3 races, we're going to get a race win from the Belgian, Dutch, whatever, superstar, Sam Van Olst in the Gold Sus racing machine. He comes round the last corner while the scrap kicks off behind him. But Gold Sus have another win under their belts, and Sam Van Olst takes a victory here at Jerez in the CDM Clio Cup. Very well done to him. Gregory is second for what I think will be his first podium of the season. Alex Fretwell gets his 6th, and Fretwell gets his 7th podium of the season. Dan McCauley completes a great drive through from the back of the grid into 4th. Then it's Stuart Clark 5th, Jack Johns in 6th place. Beard beats Weir, Kenyon and Brayton back across the line. Hoyland and Roberts were separated by just 0.02 of a second. I think Hoyland might have had a slowdown penalty right at the end of that one. He'll be gutted about that. And, Lee Berridge is putting on a bit of a show for us here. The drivers aren't allowed to reset to the pit lane, by the way, at the end of the race. And Lee is delaying that by giving us a nice, lovely J-turn across the line. Fair play to you, Lee. But wow, what a race that was, Dara. That was very, very entertaining.
It was great, and just showed that anyone can really compete at this circuit, which means race 3 is going to be, I think, one to look forward to here. They'll have a little bit of a break to get their head into the game, but not long until we get going once more.
So Dan McCauley won the first race of the night from Jack Johns and Alex Fretwell, who took his 6th podium of the season at that point. I think that was the first time we'd seen Jack Johns on the podium throughout the season. Yes, it was. Alex Fretwell was 3rd, as mentioned. Lee Berridge was in 4th place, ahead of John Breitenbach and Matt Hoyland. God, they all had a completely different race after that, didn't they, in race 2? Then it was Sam Van Olst in 7th, Harry Seven in 8th, which is annoying. Martin Kenyon in 9th. Jordan Butler completed the top 10 in race number 1. Then it was John Roberts ahead of Ashley Beard, Danny Weir and Ben Gregory, with Stuart Clark completing the point scorers. Jan Ostberg missing out in that one. Dara, why don't you take it away with the race 2 results?
Dan Van Olst was the winner ahead of Ben Gregory and Alex Fretwell. The 2.4 seconds almost flatters him with how close it was going into the last couple of laps. Dan McCauley 4th after getting that win earlier on with Stuart Clark. A really good result to 5th. Jack Johns got to 6th. Harry Seven was thankfully 7th. And Jan Osberg, after a difficult race 1, recovered to P8 and scored some decent points in the end. Ashley Beard, Danny Weir, they rounded out the top 10, but Danny Weir only just about finished ahead of Martin Kenyon, the number 11 in 11th. I mean, there's some great synergy here. John Breitenbach, Jordan Butler, Matt Hoyland and John Roberts found out the points playing positions in Sally for Lee Berridge. He was the sole driver to score nil points that time. I
think we have the points working now, so I'm going to try this. And yes, this is how the championship will look at present. Now, this doesn't take into the fact that Ryan Stitchbury will score his drop score here tonight, so he will have a good number of points more than that, and a few drivers will also be gaining as a result. But look at that. Jack Johns jumps up to 6th position in the championship. Lee Berridge has actually moved up into 3rd place ahead of Sam Van Olst, but it obviously hasn't calculated that, or it hasn't calculated Sam's win or something. Something hasn't quite added up there, has it? Because Sam Van Olst got a race win. Why has he only scored 11 points? Okay, maybe I haven't got the points fixed. Either way, we're going to go to a quick break here on Chaz Draycott Media. Dara and I... sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say what this drop round and then realised what I was about to say would just make sense. So sorry, carry on.
Well, we'll try and figure it out, but for some reason it hasn't applied. I'm just having a look at how many points it's given Sam van Olst. It's given him 34 according to this, which is correct. But then it displays something completely different when I try and show it. So, not a clue. We'll get it fixed at some point. Either way, Dara and I are just going to go for a quick break. Just going to grab a drink, chill out for a moment, and we will be right back in the next and final race of the evening in the CDM Clio Cup.
Devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand, bang, got my hand. Call
Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott and Dara Thacker here for round number 4 of the CDM Clio Cup here in 2026. We've got a few drivers taking to the circuit with a couple of minutes left of warm-up. And Dara, we've had a fantastic night so far. I mean, it's been really, really busy. Certainly looking forward to how this final race of the evening goes.
Yeah, definitely so. Drivers just kind of getting their, I was going to say getting their eye in, but they're not really. They've had 2 20-minute races in qualifying that we've already done. I'm just kind of, settle themselves to get ready for the race, get some laps on under their belt on their own, especially if they've been, almost out of practice with the sole laps because they've been, so bunched up over the course of the racing so far tonight. Nice to kind of get some time to yourself. I would have thought maybe a couple of them get out, have a bit of a break for a few minutes, but some of them on track still.
There's some great discussions going on in the Discord, though. We see these incidents, and I always think, oh, no, that's going to cause an argument, or, oh, no, someone's going to be angry about that. There's so many apologies from drivers to one another, and people saying, good race, and all this. It's been fantastic, Everyone sort of, not complaining, sorry, apologising for moving over a bit, saying, I didn't quite realise I was that far over, I didn't realise I was drifting over to you. Clearly, these cars do move around a lot. I mean, you can see it on the brakes a lot of the time. But one of the funniest discussions was that, the bit that isn't funny is Ben Gregory fully believes that the incident between him and Hoyland in race 1 was on him. He feels he came over and hooked himself across the front of Matt. Matt said if it makes him feel any better, he missed the start of race 2 because he was watching it back trying to decide if it was his fault. To which I've mentioned that, you can give the place back after you make contact with someone, but that takes the mick, and sort of not take it to the start of the next race. Hoyland has dared the stewards to give him a penalty, which has been noted by the stewards. So, yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting final race tonight. But it seems like, despite the quite hot nature of the racing, spirits are very high in the Discord, which is absolutely lovely to see.
Yeah, and it's nice, I think, to have that kind of spirit between the drivers. All in good faith, all in good heart.
Yeah.
Quite enjoyable, though. Or not enjoyable, quite funny that Matt Hoyland missed the start because he was analysing something else.
Yeah.
I can already hear the thought process in his mind when the cars were going, and he's clocked it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he won't miss this race, though, and hopefully he'll be starting where he should be.
14th. Sam Van Alst on pole position with Ben Gregory alongside him. Alex Fretwell and Dan McCauley both a big threat as well to take a win here. Stuart Clark, Jack Johns on the next row. Harry Seven, Jan Ostberg. Then we have Ashley Beard and Danny Weir on row 5 ahead of Martin Kenyon and John Breitenbach. Then it's Jordan Butler and Hoyland with John Roberts and Lee Berridge, the 2 boosted motorsport cars, at the back of the grid. Should be a very interesting final race here. Sam Van Alst in a great place to take another win from pole, but we know it's not easy to do that around here, and well, Ben Gregory, he's going to be fighting for some big championship points from second as well.
Let's see. A couple of drivers we have to wait to get onto the grid, including the pole sitter. Hopefully he'll jump in. There we go. I think we're all going to be ready now, Chaz.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam Van Alst, the last one to make it to the grid. He's going to be the first one off of it. The lights come on, and here at Jerez for the final time tonight in what's been a very quick evening, CDM Clio Cup gets underway. A little bit of a blink from Ben Gregory, and he moves over to the right to cover off Alex Fretwell straight away. Fretwell then goes over to the left. Dan McCauley tries to go with him, but it's a lovely tidy start from Sam Van Alst, keeping that race lead into the first corner. Everyone behind remaining 2 by 2. A little bit of a move this way and that way as they head into the second corner. Nearly contact between McCauley and Fretwell as they both overlap their bumpers and wheels a little bit. Seems like everyone has behaved themselves further back. Lee Berridge at the back of the order there is running slightly wide, but Sam Van Alst making a very tidy getaway. It seems very chill for the last race of the night, that, doesn't it?
Yeah, quite frankly, because you'd expect drivers to just go for it a little bit more here. They're not worried about that reverse grid or
there it is.
Race 2 or 3, a little bit of argy-bargy, break back up the inside of Weir. Nothing too serious though, and they will continue onwards.
Yeah, he just tried to find that gap, didn't he, as Danny ran wide, and then Danny said, no, you know what, I do want to get back to the apex. Hoyland is on the inside there, 3 wide with Ashley Beard on the outside. John Breitenbach in the middle, goes in a little bit hot. Ash then gets back into the middle of the road. Really good stuff from those guys. I'm just sort of holding my breath preemptively here, waiting for there to be a colossal accident. Not that I don't trust these boys, but yeah, usually when you're moving around this much and you're this close, doesn't always stay completely perfect. Nearly contact between Hoyland and Breitenbach. Oh, you've got to be so careful not to hook each other through there. But it's Van Olst leading the way, Gregory in second position. Then it's Alex Fretwell, then Dan McCauley, Stuart Clark, Jack Johns, Harry Seven, Jan Osberg, the whole top 8 as they were. Kenyon has gained 2 places on this first lap. He's having a really good getaway.
Yep, he is doing a good job to try and give himself a chance at maybe even a top 5 by the end of this third race, but it's going to be congested. Stuart Clark's slowdown's not going to help him out a whole lot as we run our way through to the end of the opening lap of this third and final race of the evening. There is Clark getting off the racing line, serving that slowdown. Look at how slowly he's going. He's lost 1, 2, 3, 4. No, not quite 4 positions. Kenyon's not going to get him on the entry, but maybe on the exit of the corner. Battle for P3 though. McCauley trying to get past Fretwell.
I think he's trying to get through the boot of Alex Fretwell's Clio, to be fair, just to see if he's remembered to pack his spare tyre for the night. He's just making that little bit of an effort now to push Fretwell back towards Ben Gregory for the next position. Harry Seven has gotten past Jack Johns, and now Jan Osberg wants a piece of the action as well. Look at that behind. Hoyland's in the middle as Breitenbach tries to get through. He's side by side with his teammate Danny Weir. Oh, dearie me, it's all really feisty for those positions. Bit of contact. Weir goes this way and that. And Breitenbach still somehow in the fight as well. They're wheel to wheel, wing mirror to wing mirror through the left. And there's still not an incident. Again, it just shows you how good these cars can be, though. Sometimes you have a lot of contact and a lot of leaning and argy-bargy, but you don't have a major accident. Still, they're leaning on each other. Lee Berridge says, "Thank you very much, boys. I'll go through." Ashley Beard decides to try and get a good viewpoint of it from up on the bank. Goodness me. Fantastic stuff to watch, though. And again, true, typical Clio racing, this.
Yep, good to see 2x2 in towards turn 6. Inside line then for Berridge. Weir's going to go wide. That's going to allow the likes of Butler up the inside because he's got through on Breitenbach as well. Can you pick off 2? Not quite, but they will be side by side in towards 7. Actually, Breitenbach still might have a chance on the inside. He's taking a very tight line into 8, though. Not entirely sure why, but he is. And he will end up losing out to Butler. He's got to be careful of Roberts as well. So it's a little bit crazy back here, and they've lost a lot of time to the leading group.
You said exactly what I was thinking. It was one of those get out of my head moments. Danny wants to continue looking forward and chase down Lee Berridge just in front of him, but you could say Danny would be weary of those behind him. Slowdown penalties coming for Harry Seven. He's not going to enjoy that from 5th position. Martin Kenyon gets one of them as well. That's going to help the top 4 break away even further. Looks like Jack Johns is going to take advantage of Harry's slowdown. Slots across in front of him. Jan Osberg takes a really lovely line on the way into there to carry the speed. They're now side by side on the exit of the hairpin at the end of the lap. This feels like such a busy race all of a sudden. It's just erupted into battles on battles on battles. Ben Gregory does the fastest lap of the race with a 2 minutes .733, and the rest of the guys around him are barely a tenth this way or that way. The top 4 is becoming a definite quartet for the win.
Yep, it is. Van Olst is the one leading the way for the time being. McCauley, I think, the one going to be hungriest to make moves sooner rather than later because, of course, he is at the back of the train and he's right on the back of Alex Fretwell as well as they work their way through. We're only on lap 3 and we know it'll be a 10-lap race, so still a long, long way left to go. But the battling that we've seen towards the back of the field, you'd think we're on the final lap or 2 already, to be honest. And so I can't see this one settling down too quickly because in comparison to the other 2 races at least.
Absolutely. Now, the thing is here, there it is, there's the answer. I was just about to say, will Sam Van Olst start to go defensive on Ben Gregory here, or will he allow Ben to just take the place and hold on to second? I doubt Sam would happily relinquish a win, but after taking a win earlier in the night and knowing that Ben is not a threat in the championship to him right now, he might let him go and just settle for those second place points. You know, it's 5 points less though. It's the biggest difference between one position and the next is the difference between first and second place. So I think it's a bit odd of Gregory to really go for this right now because he's got Fretwell and McCauley right behind him. He knows that if he could work together with Sam, they could probably break away because Dan is already all over the back of Fretwell, but it seems like Ben is just taking every opportunity to make an overtake here tonight, and, well, it's going to harm him more than anything else as there's more scrapping going on right to the back end of the field.
Yes, there is, and guess who it is at the weir? It's Danny at the moment. Let's see if he can change that by getting through on Mr. Beard. Robertson, Butler and Breitenbach all involved in this as well. But Danny's just kind of pick his way through. I think nice as well that we didn't really have any collision in the opening couple of laps in this race, which means that everyone on the end of lap 3 is split by just about 10 seconds, which is what we want, and they're all in the same straight. Gregory around the outside of race leader Van Olst. Can he take the lead through there? Not quite done, but he's going to challenge through 2 and 3. The difficulty is he's still around the outside.
It's going to become the inside, though, through turn 3, and I think he might have that done, Ben Gregory. If he does, that is an absolutely brilliant move by Ben. That is vintage Gregory, that. I've been racing with Ben on iRacing for over 11 years. I say racing, I don't do a lot of it anymore, but, we've been in and around the same championships for 11 years, and that is the Ben Gregory that I know from the first few years we raced together. He is really, really good on his day, and that was a fantastic overtaking move. And again, another fantastic story of a driver that's come back after a one-race ban due to incident points, and he's having the time of his life.
Yeah, he is, and almost showing showing someone that you wouldn't expect to be banned for a race for getting incident points, quite frankly, with the kind of quality of racing that we've seen from him tonight. Macaulay on the back of Fretwell, nearly getting through, but nothing happening there. He's 7/10 off the lead in 4th. It's crazy close at the moment.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. The whole field is actually separated by just 10.4 seconds, 10.5 now, which just shows you how close it is here tonight in the CDM Clio Cup. And when the drivers all behave themselves and keep it clean, it is really feisty. They're all having to brake and avoid each other here. This is going to help Jack Johns into the picture. Jack and Jan Osberg are only 1.3, now 1.2, now a second off the back of this. They are reeling these guys in tenfold into this last part of the lap. And if Harry Seven and Matt Hoyland continue to work together going forward, if Hoyland doesn't drive off the road like that, then they could very much be in on it as well.
And that's what we want, isn't it? More and more drivers getting involved in the battle for the race leads. At the end of lap 4, inside line then for Matt Hoyland on Martin Kenny, and that's just in the background as we look back up to the lead of the race. Gregory under pressure now. He made the move around the outside of Van Olst last time by. Is he going to allow Van Olst to look at the inside? He did. He didn't move from the racing line. I think knowing that, given, even if Van Olst sent it down the inside, he was confident enough to run it around the outside, but a bad run through turn 1 is going to make him throw a defensive line into turn number 2, but he's going to do just enough to make sure he's covered that one off as well. But all of the covering means that everybody else is getting even closer as well, so this is just bunching up more and more at the moment.
Yeah, Ben was really lucky that Sam didn't drive into the rear corner actually out of turn 2. Sam really wanted to get a cutback, but committed to the throttle quite early and nearly hit him, but yeah, gets away with it for now, and Ben continues to lead. But yeah, the top 4 separated by only just over half a second now. It's absolutely nuts. Ben moves all the way to the right, makes it very clear where he wants to go. We're going to go on board with Jack Johns, though, and just watch how much he closes up through this next sector. Van Olst tries to find a gap down the inside where there just simply isn't one, and now Fretwell goes to the outside. Look at that, with all this scrapping straight off the bat, with Macaulay having to hold back slightly in case there's a drama, Jack Johns finds himself in the picture. Now, the only thing, as Fretwell, that's actually got the second, the only thing we don't want to see here is Jack being patient about this. If he turns up on the scene and tries to send it straight away on Dan Macaulay, I don't think that's the right approach. He needs to just take a second, take this battle in, because he's still got 1.4 seconds back to Jan Osberg. He needs to just take his time here. And I know what Jack's like. He does love a move, and he likes to be a bit of a hero. So I'm just hoping he doesn't turn this into a scent. And you know that Dan Macaulay feels the same way because he's defending straight off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult spot to be in. But I mean, look at how they run their way through. I mean, if you are Dan Macaulay, you know that you've got, and you've had the win already. And you know that you've already been able to be in a position to win a race this evening. You're going to feel a little bit more confident in maybe getting these moves done. But on the flip side of that, he was close to the race win in race 2 and wasn't able to make those moves. So, two sides of the same coin, really, for Dan. It's just, we'll see if he's positive or negative about it. It's not going to be feeling too positive about Jack Johns coming down his inside and towards turn 1, but he's going to cover that one off quite aggressively and make sure that he's now, if anything, on the back of Van Olst.
Yeah, it was really quick through the sort of mid-corner at turn 1 there was Dan. Jack broke a little bit early just to let him do that. He didn't go really silly late on the brakes. So I think that Jan is behind him. Jack is going to think about the bigger picture here. Sit in 5th place for now, see what happens. There's still nearly half the race left to go. 9 minutes, 11 minutes has absolutely flown by here at Jarama. There's still battles going on further back as well. Kenyon chasing down Matt Hoyland. He's got Lee Berridge and John Breitenbach behind. It's been a bit of a shame how John Breitenbach's night has gone, really, isn't it? Considering that he put it on pole position for race 1. He's sort of faded into the background a little bit, which is a real shame. I think he deserved to have a good night based on that fantastic qualifying performance. Or then again, did he curse himself by saying he'd be here but be slow?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a shame really because Breitenbach obviously said that he was going to be slow, but then got pole, but hasn't really been able to capitalise on that, has he? Over the course of the racing so far. So, yeah, tricky to really judge how he'll be feeling. But still a few points on offer from him. And still, he's only 6 seconds off the lead in P12. Which shows how close this one has been from start to finish. 4 and a bit laps to go now for Ben Gregory. I mean, can he hold on the whole time? I wouldn't say no at all, because he's made the move past Van Olsen, done very well, but can Fretwell maybe find a way through? I mean, it's just about how much pressure he feels like he's under, and how much pressure the others can put him under. He'll be under less pressure now if these two start battling into the final corner. Fretwell nearly going to the back of him on his defensive line. But it's just so tight, isn't it?
It really is. I'm loving this camera shot. It's making me feel sick, but I'm loving this camera shot. I'm having to lean forward to make sure I don't fall back off my chair. But yeah, this is a really lovely shot, just to show you how close these guys are while they all continue to scrap behind Ben Gregory for this race lead. But yeah, I think Fretwell, in an ideal world for him right now, would get into the last few laps of this race without Van Olst making too much of a move, and he would wait until right at the end of the race to try and make a move on Ben, because then Ben can't come back at him and get the lead back. But he's got the nightmare scenario of Sam Van Olst trying to put more and more pressure on him the whole time and distracting him from that lead battle. Macaulay runs deep. He's lucky that Jack Johns does the same, so they both dip a wheel into the gravel. Dan's taking a bit of a tighter line. Jack tries to get the run, but he's on the grass. He has still got a bit of a run on Dan, who also kisses the gravel on the left as well. Dan moves over to the right, puts the car in the middle of the road. Jack is still going to try and find that inside line. Now he goes all the way over to the left. He's going to go later on the brakes into the hairpin. He's not done a Schumacher and turned into the side of him. Oh, the two of them really, really close together. Through the left-hander they go. Dan has to think about his championship here, and if Jack starts to fight him too hard, he might back out of this and just say, you know what, off you go, bit of contact, oh dearie me. Hopefully Jack can rejoin safely. That was very, very scary. Dan doesn't want to let... he's not giving him the place. He needs to get going, does Jack? I don't know what he's doing. Is he in the wrong gear or something? Dearie me, didn't get going again. Jan Osberg, distracted by that, is now going to run wide. Harry Seven's going to do the same. Dan moved over a little bit, and then that was the tap. And, I mean, fair play to Macaulay. He backed out of it and gave him the place back. But then, yeah, Jack, I think, just was it still in, like, 6th gear or something. He just didn't get going again.
Yeah, he didn't accelerate off the corner as you'd expect. Stuart Clark and Matt Boylan getting close. Then they're 3 wide behind momentarily through the chicane. A little bit of contact, and that's going to send Kenyon wide and let Brayton back through. And then there's how did that happen? Brayton back's off the road.
I thought the same.
They weren't even... I didn't even think they were going to be side by side through there. Let's see. I thought that Breitenbach had completely cleared him. Maybe he just gets turned across. How does that even happen? Yeah, he gets turned across. There you go. That makes sense.
Goodness me.
God, only I thought of that in the moment.
That was that was nuts. Let's have a look at the Jack Johns Dan Macaulay scenario. It was a very, very interesting move, but yeah, Dan, you could tell he knew that he was the one that made that contact, because I think he came over to the left to get off the curb. Let's see how it looks from here, whether we can even feel the hit. Oh, there is a tap. He gets out of it, and then, yeah. And then Jack just... It sounds like he's in 5th gear or something, doesn't it? Just doesn't get going again.
Oh, yeah, it just doesn't move off the corner. Bit of a weird one. But hey-ho, there is Jack Johns going just off the road. Down at turn 8, and then just not moving.
I mean, he lifts and changes down.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird moment. Isn't it?
Oh no.
From the half spin.
Van Olst and Fretwell have had a drama. Fretwell rejoining on the apex. That's going to scare a few people. But Sam Van Olst now finds himself in 2nd place. Fretwell had gone off the road, and I think Van Olst had as well. Oh, look at this. They were 3 wide for the lead. Round the outside goes Van Olst. A little bit of a kiss there on the back of Gregory. Gregory's going to come back right and turn Fretwell. Yep. Oh, and Van Olst tries to avoid him. Oh, dearie me. That's going to be an interesting one to look at for the stewards, because, well, I think... Oh, that's going to be even more interesting. Fretwell just puts Hoyland in the fence. He comes away from the curb. And that is a very annoyed Matt Hoyland, I imagine. Goodness me. He just... came away from the curb, as we see people do. It happens a lot in this car. You know, drivers try and get away from the curb, but whoa, what was that about, gentlemen? Oh, well, Fretwell,
Yeah,
I mean, Matt's made a gap, but then Fretwell comes back on, and, ooh, dear. That doesn't look brilliant, does it? God.
I'm only giggling because I'm not a steward.
Oh,
yeah.
no. It was going so well.
Well, I'm not a steward, and I therefore won't call judgment, but that looks like it's going to be looked at, Chaz. I don't know about you, but that one might be reviewed. Because I mean, it's just all of that has just given Ben Gregory a bit more space in front, isn't it? All in all, everything that's happened there. The Johns moment, that, of course, the contact between Van Alst and Fretwell, everything that went on there has just given Ben Gregory a little bit more breathing room. And for someone on the penultimate lap of the race, it's exactly what he's going to be wanting on the final lap, isn't it? Or going on to the final lap, isn't it?
Part of me wonders whether the thing that's really riding on my mind is why Jack Johns slowed down in front of Dan and then, changed down again. But part of me wonders whether, because he feels he came over to the right, whether he was actually trying to give the position back. Whether he feels, because obviously he didn't know where Dan went, he was busy trying to save his own car. I wonder whether he was just trying to give Dan the position back because he thought he knocked him off the road. I don't know. But we'll obviously have to look at that. Dan McCauley and Harry Seven making friends again here through the long left-hander, trying not to clip one another. You've got to think about netcode in these cars because it can be quite scary. Dan sticks it to the apex. He's having a good night all in all, considering the incident that he just had. There's still battles further down as well. After John Breitenbach was off the road earlier in such a spectacular way, it's amazing to see he still found himself back in a fight. It's just incredible night of racing. It's just ridiculous. The stewards are going to be busy again with this third race. But now, you mentioned that lead. Look at this. With 1 lap to go, Ben Gregory has got the very scary sight of the 2 Gold Sus cars behind him.
Yep, and he's going to be feeling a little bit concerned, I think, as he comes around the final corner. White flag will be flying, but Van Alst has closed a lot this time by. There's Barney doing his best flag wave. Let's see the lap times last time by. 2:02 flat to a 2:01.2, 8/10 that Van Alst was quicker that time by. And that's huge, realistically. And Ben Gregory's got a lot of holding on to do. Oh, Osberg slow off the corner. Up and under from Dan McCauley in towards turn 2. Can he get this one done on the brakes? Is there going to be a little bit of contact? No, it's nice to run around the outside there because you know how much room you've got. But McCauley's controlled it nicely and looks like he might just have an edge. Maybe not. They're side by side, and they're side by side behind as well for 5th.
Yeah, they've got to be really careful. Harry Seven and Alex Fretwell want a piece of this, but they can't get too greedy because they need to have Dan and Jan fighting for this one here. Sounds like a really bad YouTuber pairing, doesn't it? Dan and Jan. The pair of them just trying to stick together. Dan moves all the way over to the right. Doesn't want anyone down his inside. Let's have a look for the battle for the lead, though. Ben Gregory doing his best to hold off Sam Van Alst. I worry that Sam's going to... Oh, well, not that, but he's done that. I was going to say, I think he's going to have him off if he tries too hard. There's a bit of argy-bargy going on here. Alex Fretwell has lost places. Dan McCauley is held on. He's going to be, well, not happy to see Alex Fretwell drop back, but... Of course, for the championship, it's going to help him out a lot. But now, Jack Johns is very much in the mix here with Sam Van Alst still having a go at Ben Gregory. I was going to say that I'd imagine Sam is going to pressure Ben into a mistake here. He's trying to go all the way around the outside of both of these right-handers. If he makes that work, that'll be amazing. Sam Van Alst carries great pace as they head up towards the chicane. Let's see what he can do here. Into the chicane he goes. Bit of a kiss over the curve with Ben. That is an outstanding move by Sam Van Alst. He might be a bit slow off the corner, but Ben's got to be careful about it. If the overlap here with Jack Johns goes one way, then the other. This is going to be down to the final corner, Dara.
Yeah, outside line for Ben Gregory. Oh, can he find the inside line? Van Alst is going to defend it. Johns might have a go as well right around the outside. It all comes down to this. A little bit wide from Gregory. May save him P2, but he's not going to be able to reclaim that top spot.
Sam Van Alst is going to take his second win of the night here at the wonderful Jerez circuit. Ben Gregory second place for the second race in a row. Jack Johns finishes third, gets another podium. Dan McCauley caps off a great night in fourth as it kicks off in the background. Oh, dearie me, Martin Kenyon and Lee Berridge having a right old scrap across the line. God, I don't know what they were doing. But last day of school vibes, all the same. John Breitenbach, well, what a difficult night he's had considering he was on pole. 15th place. Hoyland out of the race after earlier. But Sam Van Alst, well, he had a qualifying ban, let's not forget, to serve here. He didn't go out in qualifying at all. And he goes on to win 2 races in a row on the same night with his teammate joining him on the podium. That was beautiful for the Gold Sus boys, wasn't it?
Oh, delightful. They're going to be thrilled, and they're picking up loads of points at the moment. They're going to be looking quite strong further and further we go into the season. But I think a perfect night for them, and they're going to be thrilled.
They really will be. Let's have a look at the final race result of the night, shall we? And see exactly how that one shapes up with everything considered. Sam van Olst takes the race win with 25 more points going his way. Ben Gregory, second podium of the night and second podium of the season. Jack Johns gets another great third place. Car 3 P3. There is synergy, Dara, you're right. Dan McCauley finishes in fourth place. I tell you what, a race win, a fourth and a fourth. He's not going to be too upset with that. Jan Osberg fifth. Good result for him to score some more championship points there ahead of Harry 7. I think that might be, just looking at it, Harry's best result of the season. It is. Sixth place for him. Very well done. Stuart Clark, that is also his equal best result of the championship. It was race 2 at Okayama when he was last in 7th place. Martin Kenyon and Lee Berridge were almost completely level across the line. Not quite sure what happened after the line there, whether it was just a bit of argy-bargy and completely innocent. Alex Fretwell completes the top 10, but I know that he would have preferred to be a few positions ahead of that after the battle he was having. Jordan Butler was 11th ahead of John Roberts, who scores more championship points. Then it was Ashley Beard, Danny Weir and John Breitenbach completing the top 15. Matt Hoyland, 3 laps down, did not complete the race. Well, I'm excited to see see what happens and who comes in for a chat there, Dara. But to be fair, it's quite a long in lap, and the guys are still going on. I mean, Harry and his teammate nearly missed the pit lane entry there.
Yeah, I was going to say we might be waiting. Oh, someone's joined. But it's a long old in lap. They're just about making their way in, but at least everyone's done it, right, Chaz? No one's run away early.
That's the most excited I've ever heard anybody about someone joining a Discord chat. We're going to jump back to the very start of this race, and we're going to slow-mo things, and we're going to have a chat with a driver that took his first win of the season here tonight, but also had a very good night overall with 2 more 4th places. Dan, how was that, mate?
I think, as Tom Ingram would say, pointsy.
Oh, God.
I know, I hate that word and I hate the guy, but it's probably the right word to describe it. I think with Stitch not being here and a few others, I just had to try and make most of it. Race 1 was unexpected, but I'm buzzing with it. And then the other 2 races just had to keep my nose clean. Some cleaner than others, but hey-ho.
I was going to say it's been a bit of a busy one in many counts. I know that first race probably did catch you off guard in the end, but what was the circuit like in these cars? Because I thought it was quite good fun, but obviously I didn't race with these maniacs. Or you maniacs, I should say.
I don't mind it in something that's got a bit of downforce. In this, it just felt you were waiting forever. And obviously you've seen how close qualifying was, there wasn't much in it. So when you put in the draft trains, it makes it really hard. But then as the temperature came up, it was easier to make mistakes, so it kind of balanced it out. But it was good fun. It did suit the cars pretty well. Just a shame iRacing can't make a tyre model that doesn't overheat after 2 corners.
Whoa, shade being thrown, despite the fact there wasn't much shade on the circuit tonight. Next time we go to a circuit that I know you enjoy, Barber Motorsports Park, what do you reckon it's going to be like in these things?
I think it's going to be chaos.
Yeah.
Because there only really is, 3 or 4 overtaking places at Barber. I think you're going to see a lot of side-by-side through places that you normally wouldn't go side-by-side through. And I think it's going to be a bit like this, where there's like little packs, and it's quite hard to bridge the gap in between. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, it could be an interesting one as always. We're at the halfway point of the season now, though, as well. How did you feel like it's gone so far?
Surprisingly well. Like, as someone that doesn't drive front-wheel drive cars, the whole keeping out of trouble and being fast-ish seems to be paying off pretty well. I think in the reverse grids, the patience is playing out. Like, I think I made 11 places in the second race, and I didn't really have to make any low percentage moves, and that's just been my approach the whole season. I think we've seen the stewards can be pretty strict, and it's safer to just sit behind someone for a couple of corners rather than risk that sort of 5-second penalty.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you've seen it in that third race there. Me and Jack had a little bit of glue down the straight, and neither one of us knew who to let back through. Well, I'm hoping that's what was going on there. But I mean, it's just good racing. It's just good fun. I'm racing this for fun, not for the championship, and I think that's why it's been a little bit more positive than some other leagues I've entered recently. So, yeah, been good. Looking forward to the second half, and we'll see what we can do.
Well, thank you very much, Dan, and I'm glad you're enjoying it out there. And yeah, we thought the same after a bit in the commentary box, that it looked strange that Jack was slowing down, but we did then realise that he wouldn't have known where you went after the contact, and obviously he was trying to save his car. So yeah, we figured that you were both just trying to sort of know after you, just sort of dance together. But yeah,
I have no idea how he kept it out of the wall, to be totally honest.
neither do we.
I seen his left rear tyre out my left-hand side window, so I don't know how he managed that.
He did a flipping good job, to say the least. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go, mate?
Big shout out to Drew, because he'll moan at me if I don't. And just you guys for behind the scenes, for broadcasting, and then sort of Francois for all the work that's going on behind the scenes.
Smashing. Thank you very much, Dan, and great to speak to you as always. And yeah, we'll speak to you again soon.
See you in a bit.
Lovely stuff. Dan McCauley, a great night for him, to be fair, Dara, and I'm sure that he'll want the rest of the season to continue how it's going so far.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a really good couple of weeks now, and he's been able to show exactly what he can do. And I think going forward, he's going to have that confidence brewing with him, and he's got the momentum, particularly in the points column, so there's no reason for him not to feel positive.
Absolutely. We will bring in a driver that also had a very good night in the end, getting some podiums on the board. Dara Thacker, why don't you take it away with the lovely Jack Johns?
Yeah, welcome in, Jack. Great evening's worth of racing for you. You know, backed up with that podium in that final race. Talk us through how you were feeling over the course of the evening, because it felt like quite an open track, but moves were hard to come by.
Yeah, it was surprisingly difficult to overtake, I think, as is the nature of sort of MotoGP tracks, really. But I think me and Sam didn't expect to have pace here. It's not a track that many of us drive that often, but maybe that's the case for everyone. And then, yeah, I could hear the stream in the background in race 3. First of all, thanks to Dan for letting me back past after the contact. I wasn't actually trying to let him back past. My pit limiter was stuck on as a result of me trying to hold on to the car. So I did manage to get it off in the end. P3 is good. Ben held on well. All the race gets reviewed. I don't normally wish for people to get a penalty, but I wouldn't mind a 1-2 for the team if Ben gets a penalty. But to be honest, no, the racing was tough today, but good fun as always.
Yeah, and it looked really quite enjoyable to be involved in some of those battles out there. I mean, took us through as well with your teammate up there as well. How does it feel to have two of you fighting towards the front of the field for the team's championship?
In fairness to Sam, he's been up there for trying to be up there for most of the season, and I think, as Chaz mentioned a couple of times, it's a patchy start for me. Probably should have been up there more so far, but it's never over after the first round. There's a bit of time, there's drop rounds and stuff, so it's not over. I can probably still climb up, and at the end of the day there's a team's championship as well, so I can just try and maximize what I can do as the clear number 2 driver now at this phase of the season.
I mean, looking forward as well to the next couple of weeks, where do you feel like this leaves you? What are your ambitions? Are you looking for that race win in the next couple of weeks?
I was hoping to get one today after seeing the quali times, but it just didn't happen. What is the next track, actually?
Barber.
Oh, I mean, anything can happen. Of course, the next step for any racer, I guess, is first of all to race, then it's podiums, then it's wins, and then championship. But I think championship's over for me at this stage, but wins for sure. Let's see how many wins we can get by the end of the season.
Yeah, man, that sounds like a good ambition to have as well, so I don't blame you at all. Before we let you go, Jack, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to on the broadcast?
Actually, a quick shout out to, I don't know if he's racing a Chaz League actually, but Duncan Murray. Technically this is his car, he's normally Sam's teammate. But he had an accident, so I've technically taken his spot in the team. And shout out to Chaz's Curry House for feeding him before the stream. Just thank you for broadcasting it.
I don't think Charlotte's ever been called a curry house.
I thought you said you went to the takeaway. Sorry, Charlotte. Okay, shout out to Charlotte for cooking Chaz's curry today.
Well, thanks, Jack. That'll clearly be the last time we speak to you, so it was nice having you in on the broadcast. But yeah, good luck for the next couple of weeks. We'll see you in a bit.
Oh, flipping out. Well, I tell you what, you can't say we don't have a good time here in the CDM Clio Cup. A driver that unfortunately had an incident towards the end of that one is Matt Hoyland. Matt, it looked like a bit of a difficult night for you for many reasons, other than obviously going a bit far with giving a place back to Ben Gregory. How are you feeling after that one?
You're lucky I've had like almost 10 minutes since I parked the car. 'Cause this would have been a very different conversation straight after I just told it. I was not happy, but yeah, I'll be honest with you, it's been a total waste of time. Like, I don't know. I just could not buy anything.
Bloody hell. All right,
Like,
I'll see you later.
No, but like, I practice. I was the fastest driver out there, apart from Jan. And I was like, sweet, here we go. This is going to be good. Miss quali, started back, get up there, get into a crash with Ben, which you blame me for, but he's took blame for now. Thank you very much. Then something happened. I can't remember what happened. Why did I start? Oh no, and then I missed race start, didn't I? So then I started at back of race 2, got up to back at Pike, then turned across someone at last corner like an idiot and spun myself out. So then I started back at race 3. Get up there, and then I get to meet a tyre barrier, so I don't know, man. It's just not been one of those days today.
Yeah, these days come around quite a bit on iRacing sometimes, don't they? It's either a really high or a really low. But, I mean, you seem to have a really good handle on this car, you know, looking at the positives from the first half of the season. When you are here, you are quick in this thing. Like, you seem to, obviously, aside from the bad luck, have the pace in it. You must at least feel confident going into some of these rounds with how well the car seems to respond.
Yeah, I'm not disappointed in... Well, I am disappointed in my performance, that's a lie, today, but I know I can be up there. That's what's so annoying to me about today, because I've seen the lead battle from a distance the entire evening, knowing that I should be doing better, and that's what's so frustrating for me, because obviously in previous rounds at Misano, for example, I was there the whole time, and yeah, I don't know, like, there's still something about this car that I'm struggling with. Like, pack racing here tonight especially was so difficult to get past people. The car, it desperately needs that little bit more toe. Like, you can exit right up behind somebody. Literally, like, at one point I made a point of actually looking at how much I gained on the start-finish straight. I think I was like 0.2 behind Stuart or something, and I might have gained like half a foot, which it just makes it that much more difficult, and that's why you end up with so many silly incidents like we've had tonight, because people are desperate to find a move that don't really exist. So, but anyway, on a more positive note, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Absolutely, mate. I mean, we've got Barber next. What do you make of going there? It could be quite a fun circuit in a lot of things.
I don't actually know it. Is that the one we did in CDM?
We did that in Formula CDM, yeah.
You have raced it, Matt.
I was, well, raced is a strong word. I've been and I've driven a car around it, but I was awful at it. It was literally the first time I've ever done it. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't want to say I'm not. I sound like I'm being very negative, and I'm not enjoying myself. I am enjoying myself. I'm just very disappointed. That's all. I am looking forward to the rest of the races. Barber, I can only do better than I did when I was in Formula CDM, because that was terrible for me. So we'll remain positive.
Well, hopefully that can continue, Matt, in terms of the positivity. I know that you do this for a good time, and I know that sometimes it's difficult to channel that when a night goes like tonight. But before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out
to? Shout out to Dara for not pinning some blame on me like you did. I really admire your ability to not stick your foot in it. You're very good at not committing one way or the other. Shout out to Danny, obviously my teammate. He didn't have a wonderful night either by the sounds of things, but yeah, we'll move on. We'll look forward to next week.
Well, thank you very much for being a part of it, as always, Matt, and obviously taking the time to come and speak to us, despite still having a difficult night. And yeah, we'll hopefully speak to you soon, buddy.
No worries, boys. Thank you.
Cheers. Well, there we go, Matt Hoyland, and I think it's definitely worth Dara having a chat with the driver that finished second in 2 races tonight, and again, filling the narrative of drivers having a good time after a 1-race ban. It's Ben Gregory.
He's had a lovely time, Ben Gregory, this evening. Unlucky on the final lap, on the final race, of course, but Ben, welcome in. I mean, how are you feeling after all that? It seemed like he had a really good evening tonight.
That was stonking, honestly. I'm gonna hold. I already said. I think you've mentioned it already. I'm holding my hands up for the crash in race 1. Like, it's a, stuff happens thing. Like, I'm not that upset by it. Like, and I had a good race up to that point, so I can't be mad. Like, I had really good fun. And then lucky race 2 reverse and got the second out of it. I'm still annoyed I couldn't get the first. I wish I could have passed Stuart faster. He was extremely good at holding me down. And then race 3. I had a lot of fun with that. I'm so proud of the overtake I did on Sam around the outside, and then on the last lap he returned the favour. I feel bad about the contact with Alex as well. Like, we were 3 wide, and I feel really bad about that one. I was trying not to get killed by Sam coming back on, and I didn't realise on a tiny little monitor, like, oh god, Alex is right there, and I feel really bad about it. But oh my god, they made me sweat for that. They made me sweat for that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good evening for the team as well. I mean, when you look forward in terms of the next few races in the season, where do you feel like your ambitions are set now? Because you've had a good evening here tonight. You've shown that you can perform really at quite a high level.
I honestly did not expect me to do as well at Jerez. I honestly kind of hate this circuit. But yeah, Barbara, I think I'll be okay at. I can't remember what our rain race next is though.
Zolder.
Which I'm hoping to. Zolder? Oh, even better. I like Zolder. Yeah, I love doing the rain. I don't like touring cars in the rain is probably one of my best things I perform in. Because I think I just gel with it quite nicely. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can do the same in the Clios. Might need to move the brake bias a bit more forward though this time.
It's a good idea. It's good ambition to have. Congratulations though tonight. Before we let you go, is there anyone oh goodness me, it's been a long evening. Before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to on the stream? There we go.
Honestly, everyone in the series, you guys for running it, especially Chaz, like, it's been great. Francois for putting up with my complaining. And yeah, everyone I've raced against today, and the team, we did bloody good today. Absolutely really good.
That's £1,000 fine.
Ah, no. in the swear jar.
Oh, he's got 12 more license points. So, well, Ben, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Hey, it's the rain race this time, though.
But no, honestly, Ben, from me as well, like I say, I mean, you must have heard it on the stream as well, but, after racing and sort of competing in similar series for so long together, it was great to see you get back up to the front like that tonight. And, yeah, hopefully we'll see more of it as the season goes on.
Yeah, cheers, guys. I'll see you around.
See you later. Well, Ben, like I say, continuing on that little narrative of a driver having a one-round ban and then they have an absolutely belting time. What a night we've had here at Jerez, Dara. I think that's probably one of the most exciting race meetings of the season, easily.
Oh, definitely, without a doubt. I'm really good, I think, overall that we had such an enjoyable evening and such a, kind of gracious evening's worth of racing. Yeah, there were the moments, but everyone clearly had an enjoyable time, apart from Matt Hoyland. And yeah, we look forward to Barber next week.
That is one of the best answers I've ever had to an interview question of whether somebody enjoyed themselves. It was a complete waste of time. But the thing is, Matt said it with such love as well. That's the funny thing about it. But you're absolutely right, Dara. It's been an amazing night of racing. Thank you so much to the drivers for putting on such a great show. Thank you, as always, to everyone who helps out with the championship. Thank you to Francois Brandet, who unfortunately wasn't here with us tonight, but it's about 85 degrees Celsius in his room, bless him, so he's taken the night off. And obviously, thanks to the stewards for keeping things nice and tidy between races. And again, to the drivers for respecting that. There's been a few discussions in the week over incidents and things, and everyone has, by the look of it, continue to respect what goes on here, and it's been really good to see. Thank you everybody for watching. The supporters of the championship, Abruzzi, Fireback Glass and Feel there as well. And thank you again to Dara for being such a joy to work with. And as Jack mentioned earlier on, Charlotte for feeding me curry before we went live. That's it for tonight from the CDM Clio Cup. We'll be back in a week's time from the wonderful Barber Motorsports Park in the United States. But until then, take care and have a great night.